So I know one of you is going to say, do you ever not have the tracksuit on? Only when I'm at work. Otherwise, the tracksuit stays on. It's too comfortable. Uh, I get it why the Slavs love them. Anyway, okay. This is going to be a deep dive into a mystery or an element of the Mandela effect I can't make any sense of, no matter how I try to proportion things and fit them into a box. You're here right on time, like always. Hey, what's up? What's up? Um, it's just something that makes no sense. Like I'm trying to dig deep and like figure out like how does this look like on a soul level, um, in terms of people dying multiple times, or is this some kind of deception or hidden agenda? Because some people on Reddit today brought up some good points about that. But I'm going to wait till the 5 minute mark until we actually get into the discussion. And I'm glad you're doing good, Angel. Good to hear. I've been better too. Things got a little bit easier lately, for sure. Yeah, see if more show up exactly. Um, but in addition, hey Wes, what's up? Obviously, I'm gonna. At least I had a dream, right? Yeah, at least one. And I mean, I have dreams, but it's just my memory of them is just really blurry. It's just like I even had a. I know I had a dream last night, but I woke up and it just faded into nothing. So it's not having dreams that's the issue. It's retaining the memory of them, which for some reason hasn't been happening. But it always comes back though, it always comes back, no matter how long or for how long I have a dry spell for. Yeah, it is a connection thing for sure. It's an energetic thing too, right? There's some really intense solar radiation lately, by the way. There's been some really intense auroras up north, actually dangerous auroras, supposedly. So we're having a lot of incredible electromagnetic activity. Um, but it'll come back. I'm not really concerned about that. It's not a big deal. Um, and again, some of these dreams that I do remember, I prefer not to, because some are just straight up creepy and horrifying and, all sorts of things. And like even bordering on traumatic experiences, some of these dreams that are just feel so real and alive and everything. Which, that's how our lives are going to feel like after we go from here, after we leave this place. It's going to feel like a dream that just progressively fades further and further into memory. And I don't think we'll even feel connected to this experience at all over the eons of time. So kind of similar to dreams too, but you'll be able to access those memories. It's all math and shapes for me. Omniverse, how you doing? I haven't seen you yet. What's happening? We'll have superpowers as we move into 2025. I had 3 experiences where I could see the future. Then it all happened to me. That's interesting you brought that up because I read some article about some kind of breakthrough in fusion technology. And I got all excited and I'm like, wow, we actually have some good news for once. And then I got to the rest of the article and it was like, oh, it's still decades away. I'm like, come on. I'm like, because look, our community already knows that in actuality, we could have easily had free energy by now. I mean, this is not a mystery. It's out there in the open. If the oil giants and the oligarchs and all these greedy douchebags didn't steal Tesla's technology, then we would be probably living in a real utopia today. So um, this whole fusion technology thing, it might be another carrot they're just dangling in our face, and then get you all excited, and then you read and you're like, oh, it's decades away. Like, but superpowers within 2 or 3 years sounds good to me. I don't mind. I kind of feel like I already have some now, to be honest. Uh, like, I mean, my intuitive senses, or like my intuition, is way more powerful. I can sense people's emotions and their feelings, and even like their thoughts. Like, and I get it right too. I get it correct. Like, extremely sensitive to the way people are and what their real intentions are and who they are, who they portray themselves to be, what's behind the mask of who they portray themselves to be as, and all kinds of things. And it doesn't matter if it's not only face to face. I could tell online too who's real and who isn't. I just finished streaming myself. I'm currently playing. Nice. Can you invite me to a stream next time, please? Because I'm gonna forget. Because I really want to join yours sometime. I totally forgot about that. Let me. You know what? After the stream here, I will give you like here. Just do it right now. I shouldn't be doing this, but I don't care that my information's out there. Just email me. Yes, Yahoo email. Or honestly, dude, I don't even care. Just text me too. I don't care. I'll share my number. Let the deep web get it for all I care. Anyway, 0 Point Energy Frank says, yeah, one of those was someone trying to steal my stuff. I thought I was imagining things, but then some dude came up touching and about to take your... Yeah, exactly. That's like the sort of stuff that's been happening to me too. Like, sort of like precognitive type stuff, like on a minor scale. Like, that's a pretty big deal, right? But like, it would be like smaller things for me. Like, it'd be like, I know what they're gonna do next, sort of thing, but it would be like some insignificant type thing, right? It's kind of interesting though. So yeah, now that we got some people here, I got a big response on Reddit today, much bigger than expected, in this page that's dedicated to the Mandela effect. And the response was overwhelming, over 90% to the side of Bob Barker being dead. And what's interesting is that most of the people said that that's the reason why Drew Carey took over that show, or The Price is Right, was because Bob Barker died. But what's weird, this is what doesn't make sense to me, is that was several years ago that they remember him dying. I remember him dying a few months ago. Okay. What does the pic? A few months ago. And and I wasn't the only one. There was other people who were saying that they remember him dying a few months ago too. So we had several different versions of this event. The Bob Barker thing is nuts, right? And I totally by accident found out that he was still alive. I was just bored browsing like generic crap online. And just some random thing came up about Bob Barker, right? And it was talking about how he enjoys doing this and that, and with his time, like, why is it saying he enjoys? Like, wouldn't it be saying past tense? Isn't he dead? Because I thought he was dead. So I click on him and I did a Wikipedia search on him, convinced that he was dead. And he's not. Aphrodite and Channel 333 are here. This is my lucky night. My gosh, this is awesome. and Angel and Wes, and we got all sorts of awesome people and some new people I haven't seen before. Nicholas, how you doing? I remember him dying a few months ago, and back then it was a Mandela effect for me. So you got the few months, right? Okay. So I would say from about the 40 or so responses I got on Reddit, about 30% said a few months, 30% said a few years, and then the rest were basically on the fence, either or, like either they don't remember or something of that nature. And there was a couple of people that said, there was one person that said something really interesting. And they said, oh, well, it was just a fake news thing that came out a few months ago saying that Bob Barker died. And I'm like, a fake news story? Because that didn't make sense to me, because I saw like a television special, or I think it was like one of those YouTube shows or something where they talk about the lives of celebrities, something of that nature. And sorry for the background noise, they're making cookies or something. And I was watching this special about Bob Barker's life and The Price is Right and everything and how he died and all this stuff. And so, like, a fake news thing, I'm like, I don't know. And the True Dan show is here too. Oh my gosh. So Channel 333, you said, so Aphrodite, you remember him dying twice. So by the way, okay, in that post on the Reddit page, it's called Redcon, I talked about Jerry Lee Lewis and Bob Barker. And the response for Jerry Lee Lewis was just as interesting, by the way. So, oh, yeah, Loyalty, about your channel link, it's probably not going to show up here in the chat, because for whatever reason, when you try to share YouTube videos, it often doesn't show up. Oh, wait, it did show up right there. Hold on. Let me click right now before I keep going. Give me a second. There it is. All right, I just subscribed. Yeah, there we go. All right. Okay. And Channel 333, Steve, you say that he died 4 years ago. Okay. So that's pretty similar to what a lot of people on Reddit say, like 2-3 years ago. Okay. And yeah, I know Angel and Steve, you live in the same city. I heard that before. Okay, what do we have here? So Frank, you're saying, yeah, you're so Loyalty, you remember Bob Barker and Tim Curry passing away. I'm not sure who Tim Curry is, sorry. It is crazy how that is. I can have a case of deja vu that lasts for like 30 minutes. It is so crazy. I can predict 3 seconds in the future. Yeah, exactly. Like the way you put it is exactly how I would describe it. Like you're in this like dream-like deja vu state for like this prolonged period of time, and you're like, you kind of don't know where you are or who you are. It's so strange. James Munder, Wes James says. Oh yeah, James Munder, I remember him. Yeah. I swore. So Dan, you say he must be really, oh, he is really old. Yeah, he's like in his 90s, I think. And Jerry Lewis, the comedian, I heard of him, but I'm just not familiar with his stuff, so I can't say either or about him dying once or twice. Tim Curry had a stroke in 2012, and Sinbad had a stroke in 2018 to 2020, which is really strange. Interesting. Devil in the Movie legend. So Aphrodite, you say that William Shatner died and then he came back. I feel like the gay Asian guy from Star Trek died too. Whatever his name is, right? Shazam is real. Okay, yeah, we talked about Shazam on this channel before. My brother saw that movie, okay? And I remember commercials for that movie as clear as day. I didn't see it, but my brother did, and that's the one that bothers him the most, more than anything else, because he says he saw the damn movie. Okay, so so what do you guys think about this whole idea that this is like a psyop, possibly like misinformation in the news media about people dying, and then they actually die later on? Do you think there's a possibility that some of these cases are um, that maybe this is like a deliberate psyop to throw people off, or to maybe test the psychological effects of it, or see who has a sharp memory or doesn't? What if some of this is brought to you by the military, which has been messaging me a lot more than normal lately for some reason I can't explain? Um, yeah, kicking his big shoes and the huge hat wiggling snippet. Yeah, I remember that I remember that commercial like in 1998, around there. The trailer for that movie. It was being circulated all the time, everywhere. Um, William Shatner, I thought he died too, really recently, like last year's. Yeah, William Shatner. Could be. Um, yeah, I'm not sure about that one though. Definitely somebody from Star Trek though. Some other character did die recently too. Um, yeah, picture him in the alleyway patting to the kids. Interesting. Yeah, to me, pretty sure William Shatner is still alive too. Um, but let me get into Jerry Lee Lewis a little bit as well, because to my shock, there were multiple responses that put his death around the same time frame that I remember it being, which was around anywhere between like 2004 and 2008. And not that I was like a big fan of Jerry Lee Lewis, not at all. He was a creep and a weirdo and a psycho. But I just really liked that movie, um, with crap. What's that actor's name? I saw that movie like 5 times. Okay, about Jerry Lee Lewis's life, and so I'm familiar with him very much, and I listen to that song all the time, and I knew he died many years ago, and then I turn on the news and he just died, and it's really good to have people confirm, you know, and a lot of these responses were really in a state of shock, like, whoa, I remember him dying many years ago. Whoa, this, whoa, that. Like, people are genuinely surprised and shocked and in disbelief, right? So, and then a handful of others remember him dying recently. And then there are some that were on the fence too, that are either or, which is understandable. Um, so, Aphrodite, you say this is a test psyop, because a lot of residue, like the VW logo. Yeah, there has been a lot of VW residue lately. There has been, yeah. I heard about that too. It seems like a ton more people have died than being reported. Now that you brought that up, Rabbit City, I was speaking with a funeral director on Reddit as well earlier, and everybody was asking him, has there been an increase in the death rate? And his response was like, more or less. And I brought up the topic that, you know, American insurance companies have calculated that there's been a 40% increase in death rates of people ages 18 to 49 over the last year or two. So, um, yeah, they're not really being reported on, Rabbit City, but if you just go to your generic news channels or just those pop-up feeds that you see all over the place, you'll notice every single day the term died suddenly. Uh, it's not just that documentary I told you about. It's actually a common term now being used in the news, um, TikToker dies at 21 suddenly, just out of nowhere. This person, 35, dies suddenly. It's like every day it's just shoved in your face. People dying suddenly. Okay. Oh, wow, I'm kind of getting lost in the chat over here. What is going on? Okay, so channel 333, you said, I saw a video explaining that Kevin Hart had a car accident and walked home with a broken back, died. His wife called 911 and he was at the hospital at the same time. Yeah, that kind of does ring a bell, actually. Because sometimes I feel like he did die, and sometimes I feel like he was seriously injured. Wow, that's a conundrum for me. I don't know. All right, VW logo. Pangreedy is here. Well, hello. So we're still on the topic of Bob Barker and Jerry Lee Lewis because I can't get over it for days and days now. So Dan, you said the first time I heard of ME, a giant Louis Anderson blow-up balloon like one for parades was outside my office, and I thought, that's sad. That guy is dead. Like the same flipping day. Are you serious? He died the same day you saw that balloon? That's what this place does. It shoves right in front of your face things, and then you see those things shortly thereafter or beforehand. And it's like very thought responsive stuff here. Very. Okay. We can't find anyone for any positions at a paint store in Minnesota. Sorry, I would go work for you, but I'm quite far from Minnesota. But I get what you mean. Like, you're talking about the employment crisis. Okay, I get that, which is odd in and of itself, right? It's like, is there a shortage of workers? Where do they all go? Actually did a live stream on that like quite a few months ago because I couldn't explain it either. That's odd. I understand CERN destroys universes, hence Shiva the Great Destroyer, but it doesn't explode. It merges with the closest universe next to it, which will have minute changes. Famous NPCs die off different times. Really interesting. Really interesting. Okay, so that's what I was gonna get into next. How does that work on the soul level, Steve? Okay, so the soul that inhabited the body of Bob Barker that did die, did he simply transition or shift into a body that did not die? Or did that soul leave the body and is now elsewhere in the cosmos or whatever? And we're now in a reality in which there's a different soul in a different body of Bob Barker. I know that sounded confusing, but I think you get what I mean. And same thing with Jerry Lee Lewis or all of these other people that died once, twice, 3 or 4 times. That's one of the most confusing aspects of this to me. Or like Kirk Douglas was the one that died 4 times, right? And so my mother's bleeding from the nose every day, at least 3 times a day. Wow, that sucks. What I have experienced is that my life can change drastically in 24 hours. Like I would wake up in a different world with completely different thoughts, problems, and emotions. Me too. Me too. Every day is very different, but very much the same at the same time, right? So it's definitely like a completely different fusion of energy. Every single day has its own unique kind of pattern or kind of harmonic signature to it. And it's so bizarre because of how rapidly it's changing. You're right. I'm glad you brought that up. So Angeli said she didn't have the V. Her boyfriend did. Yeah, I'm not sure about the whole being close to people who had it, and now you have that, specialized DNA. Let's just call it that. I'm not sure about that. I hope that's not the case, because if that is the case, then we're all in the same boat, whether we got it or not. Snake eating its tail in a circle, exactly. I think only the digital copy was changed. Interesting. When we went digital, it seems like we did go digital at some point, or at least some kind of digital overlay or some kind of simulator operation over the world, or fused with the world, or took over the world. I don't know. It doesn't matter what scenario it is exactly. Whatever it is, there's a tremendous influence of it here. I get weird symptoms around Jeb. You do? I'm around them every day. So I don't know. Like, I just noticed over the last 2-3 years, their behavior has changed, and something odd about them, and people's behavior in general is different. I did notice that. More docile and more docile and more docile every single year. So, and Frank says his life is completely different before CV, not just for obvious reasons, but something changed. It did, and no doubt about it. I'm right there with you. It did change big time. So, and Frank, you also say you remember Kevin Hart dying also. Interesting. So now that we're on him, you think he was replaced with a clone, or what exactly happened? Because that's pretty interesting. I would have to really give that some thought, because I actually just shared a meme of Kevin Hart the other day, so that's a bit of a synchronicity for me. So in terms of Bob Barker, in terms of like the soul transference of, if there's, let's just say this is not some kind of psyop done by parties that be, and this literally is a person going from dead to undead. So the big question is, what happens to that soul in that body? And Aphrodite, you say we only saw digital Bob Barker, that like only images to begin with. That's another really great point you brought up, because maybe they did die years back or whatever it is, and the so-called alive version is a digital representation or some sort of hologram. That might be a really good answer for this, actually. I didn't even think of that. Really good. Interesting. When you die, your final bell fails to echo out of the universe. Oh, wow. Sorry for your mom, Angel. I hope she gets better. What's in your... Okay, don't tell me that the Cranberry song changed, Dan. Come on. All right, what changed in the zombie song? Or are you just talking about zombies in general? Oh, by the way, guys, Rabbit City does literally have a bunch of rabbits, and they're super cute. So check out his channel, please. You'll have a good time. His rabbits are awesome. Oh, just sing it? All right, man, you just made me nervous there for a second, Dan. I was like, damn it, I was hoping that's like one of my favorite songs ever. And I'm like, don't change that song, please. You just want... So Roy says, or Steve says, I'm different since V. I'm a lot more psychic, but my heart has weakened. I would not recommend taking it. Same thing, it will happen to everyone after the eclipse, I think, anyways, but I don't know. Yeah, everything changed since everyone talks about how, oh, because of the lockdowns, that's why society changed, blah, blah, blah. No, it's much deeper than that. Whatever it is that actually changed goes way beyond just having lockdowns. Okay, so I disagree that it's simply that alone. The sun. Yeah, I was just talking about the sun. So apparently, um, we had some extremely intense aurora borealis just recently, and when it reaches a spectrum of color that's like very bright orange in the north, then it actually becomes very dangerous. I don't know if it's higher rates of galactic cosmic rays or radiation or whatever the case is exactly. I forgot. Um, it's actually on dangerous levels. So the sun, or what we think of as the sun, is definitely changing things too. And you guys already know my opinion on what that is, the whole birthing and everything that I'm not going to repeat 700 times. So, deer, doe, a deer. I've been here seeing a lot of references to deers lately too, as well. Actually, interesting. It's not just lockdown, that's for sure. I heard some kid who is brilliant thinks we did change dimensions and blames CERN. He actually understands how it works. Yeah, I think I know that video you're talking about. I actually saw that years ago. This supposed genius kid who says that it's like like explains it in details, like the whole dimensional shift. Like that video came out like in 2015, I think. Um, unless you're referring to someone newer that I'm not aware of, but yeah, that kid. It was like this blonde kid, right? Like 12 years old. You typed it wrong. Right on. Uh, well, you guys, let's see. I'm going to go into detail right now about my creepy ass Telegram message. Change the subject a little bit that I mentioned in the community post the other day. And so I'm new to Telegram and did not know that people could just randomly message you, but they can apparently. And speaking of which, that's something really interesting, um, because I set settings on Instagram to private, which means people can't randomly message you technically, but yet they still do. So they still manage to get through. And how that is, I don't know. But anyway, it was one of these creepy Chinese accounts. Um, I don't know if you guys have ever seen these of these really fake looking weird um, like blended gender accounts that look like almost like deep fakes where you can't really tell if it's a man or a woman or whatever, and they have like really weird like references and stuff on their page, and I look at these accounts and I think of them as like the CCP or something like that. Block on my phone. I don't know. Is Block some kind of app? I don't know. But whenever I see these types of really strange accounts, my first thought that comes to mind is that this is some kind of Chinese Communist Party stuff, or bots, or AI, which is bots, but or maybe even like North Korean intelligence or something. Yeah, I know I can just block numbers. I get that. I do. I block them every day. I block the numbers all the time, but that's not the point. They could still get through. And this person did. And I didn't block them right away because of the strange things they were saying and me trying to figure out why they were saying those strange things, and pushing for answers, which I did not receive. And they ended up blocking me. Okay. So they said something along the lines of, um, your words are magic and have a lot of power. I'm staying silent for a minute because I want you to imagine And visualize to yourself a total stranger telling you something like that. Now, of course, it could just be some crazy person or something, right? Or somebody on drugs or whatever, right? A fan. Maybe it's a fan, sure. Reverse psychology, you think that's what it was? And I just thought, oh, speaking of bots, look at that. Oh wow. See? See, you can't escape them. It's everywhere you turn. uh, Here we go. That's funny how I just started talking about that and this shows up. I think that's pretty interesting. Okay. Weird. Okay. Okay. Gang stalking. It seems like it is that because they would come like in swarms, right? And then they would stop for a while. And then they would come in swarms again and they would stop. And it's like this sort of almost like distraction type of thing where like someone is trying to distract you or they're trying to get your attention or they're trying to get you to look this way as opposed to somewhere else. Um, yeah, but this person said, my words have magic. They have a lot of power. And they said that they will be seeing me soon. It's the Russian outfits. Now that one really got to me big time. They said they will be seeing me soon. And I said, seeing me where? No response. It is so creepy, Angel. I was like, okay. And they said a few, it wasn't, I'm trying to remember what it is. There was a few other things that were very weird. Like just really aggressive, angry sort of language, kind of almost like demeaning stuff after that, like you're ridiculous and this and that. And then they block me. And I'm like, why did they block me? I want answers. Who is this? Why? They unblock me and they say hi again, but they just ended up trolling me again, basically, and just said hi a bunch of times and blocked me again. I don't know. So far, thankfully, I haven't seen them. However, I did see a person that looked really similar to them in this place I went to not far from here. I mean, I'm not saying it was them, but it really resembled what they look like. So Steve says when you upload certain videos, these bots leave comments. So, okay, so now that you said that it was a bot, you think that that was a bot? Because believe me, I know how incredibly sophisticated they are. And there are some really convincing bots out there and AI. And it will reach a point to where you won't be able to tell the difference, which is really creepy to think about. Really, really creepy to think about, actually. And then it goes along the lines of deep fakes and stuff you see on videos, right, or on TV or wherever. And it's like it's going to reach a point where like anything you see can't be trusted, basically, right? Sort of, which is a really weird thing to think about. If the digital world and our world is no longer indistinguishable, then what? And maybe that's where we're getting at with Shiva here, right, Steve? Or maybe am I taking this too far? Ah, very strange. Words are like magic if used correctly. Maybe it's another psychic and he's mad at you about how you're using it. I don't know. I'm not intentionally trying to use words to harm anyone, though. So whatever it is, okay, people do think it's a bot. Personally, I don't think that was a bot. Okay. I think I really have a really keen eye to being able to tell, no matter, even if it's a very sophisticated bot, I can tell who's a bot and who isn't. And I've been right many times. And I personally think that that was a very real person. Whether the account was real or not, probably not. But whoever was behind the keyboard or whatever was very real, I think. Um, Dan says your girlfriend is AI. Now, yeah, you got to find a real one. Come on now. Okay, so loyalty, you said one of my neighbors did that to me 2 days, but I did something they didn't expect, and now it suddenly stopped, and it was hysterical. Wait, what did they do exactly? Hold on, like something similar to those messages I received, or what? Um, so Angel, you're talking about someone as well. So hold on just a second. She keeps trying to friend me on all my social media and message me on Messenger. It was so rude. Who is she? You got me intrigued. Yeah. All right, Frank, you said that's crazy, but maybe he's right. The guy on your phone, because my life has gotten really weird lately. And guess who came up in the YouTube algorithm just when I felt like I was in sim? I came up? Was it me? Like real Engine 5 computer graphics. Remember that link I sent you then? Yep. Indistinguishable from reality. That stuff you sent was incredible. It's already indistinguishable, right? What do you make of similar personality shares that share the same name? Is that psychological phenomenon or something else? That's an interesting question. You're right. Like a lot of people's names do kind of match their characters and stuff, but not always. Like there are people like that have odd names, and I'm like, dude, that's a Bill, but he really should be a Tom or whatever. Uh, but I get what you mean. Like most of the time, it does sort of match, doesn't it? Um, yeah, interesting. Oh, setting off car alarms in the middle of the night for hours? That's annoying as hell. So, Angel, you said you think she's a gamer and maybe a friend of my ex. Okay, but you don't know. Interesting. So, Steve says, I have this weird feeling that the old X Men cartoon is showing our future. They already weaponized Sentinels. Yeah, I could totally see X Men like characters being present and already available now, actually, or like the goons and Spider-Man as well, or whatever. Like these basically, what are they? Basically, they're super soldiers, is what they are, right? The X-Men are super soldiers, so that is what they'll look like, and I'm sure they're already there. Anyway, so let's go on for a few more minutes. Then I'll go. But other than that creepy message, just the same phenomenon as before, an abnormally large number of people claiming to be military, uh, or probably are in the military, or military this, military that. And I'm like, why? Why? I don't get it. Like, I would think that military people, if they want friends, don't they stick to their own kind? Or I mean, I don't know how it works. Like, yeah, I mean, if you're already like out of the service, sure, like that's already a different life. Because I have plenty of friends that were Marines and Army. Yes, I'm talking about people that are like active right now. I would say if I was in that situation, I would want to look for people that are also active in the military so that they could find something and like find some common ground together, right? Uh, like, what do I have to do with these people? Never met a Dan I didn't like. Uh, I guess I am sharing my magic with you guys. I supposedly, according to whoever that was, I already am. The only thing I'm saying is that I hope I don't see them soon. I don't want to see them. Uh, don't want to get anywhere near them. No, thank you. You're right. There are a lot of nice Dans out there. There are. A lot of nice Dans and a lot of nice Richards for some reason. A lot of nice Richards, but not a lot of nice Ricks. If you see a Rick, the Ricks are not nice. Like Rick from Pawn Stars. He seems nice, but no way. Rick from Pawn Stars is not nice. Yeah. Oh, that's what your name means. That's super interesting. Okay. Wow. Very interesting. Tribe of Dan. And yeah, so there's another Dan right there, and he's cool. So Dans are cool. Your Uncle Rick took your ex after you left her? Ugh, that doesn't sound like a very pleasant story. Wow. Sorry about that. But I mean, you already left her, though, so I guess it's okay. Um, yeah. Anyway. So am I the only one though that gets like weird requests and weird messages and just really weird activity? Like, yes, I absolutely feel like I'm being targeted. I absolutely feel like I am. Um, or not really. Thankfully, it doesn't seem like it's on a massive scale, but it's more like to annoy me rather than anything else, or to distract me or get my attention. Um, so the big question, the big finale, why? Before we end the stream, why am I being targeted if I am? First of all, I don't have particularly that many followers or particularly that much influence. Yes, my NDE got like 500,000 views now, but there's thousands of near-death experiencers who shared their stories. So that doesn't give me or that's not a reason to be gang stalked or followed just sharing your near-death experience. I doubt that's it. Um, uh, but on a serious note, what our names convey is interesting. Origin and meaning too. Yeah. Yeah, you get distraught when I get bugged. I'm not social. Yeah, same here. Yeah, you're really good with the things in the sky, Steve, pointing out what's actually there and the very sort of living element of what's up there and the very creepy nature of it all in the sky. Yeah. I'm making a difference. Well, thank you. Um, Planes, Romero, you said I got freaking planes. What do you mean by planes? Like they're flying close to you or something? Yeah. So loyalty, you said you get weird messages on your PS4 and have set to friends only, and they have to know my email. But yes, you still get strange. Uh, oh, so remember they might be drones or something then, or something like that. Um, what if drones are flying all around you? Um, I mean, over here, I have a lot of that too, but I live a mile from the busiest small airport in America. Okay, that's considered for a small airport. It's considered the busiest. So there's a lot of activity here where I am. Um, a lot of helicopters, like there's one right now, and a lot of planes. Some commercial, most of them corporate, and a lot of training stuff goes on there for military and police. You definitely had the plane drone things, but it was a few years ago, not explainable by airport. Huh. So this is some kind of phenomenon I'm not really familiar with. Wow, that's interesting. You became a hermit since then. So, okay, I think so. This sort of weird activity really took off with the weird requests and the weird messages. I've always had weird things like that for years, right? But it went like completely ballistic. I remember the exact, like not the exact moment, but the exact time frame when this really started taking off was after the Crystal Garden videos, which I know most of you guys on this chat have seen. The Crystal Garden videos and the black hole and Horus and the true meaning of pet goat. When I went through that phase and all those videos and got all those information dumps about Osiris and Horus, that's when all this weird messages stuff started really going ballistic. So, in my opinion, it could be something related to that with the targeting, but again, I don't know. Uh, Romero, thanks for watching. I appreciate you being here. Thanks. Um, yeah, Facebook is targeting me, Angel. They shut me down for the stupidest reasons, like things that are just really minuscule and irrelevant. Like yeah, like a couple of the posts were pretty extreme, but most of it was nothing, like nothing that I should have been shut down for. Like the stuff I'm sharing now is controversial, and they're not doing anything, which is odd. So maybe they gave up. I don't know. Ricks are bad. Thanks for the shit. You need to sleep. Yeah, I'm about to go anyway. Right on. Oh, you're in Norway. Oh, wow. Yeah, of course you need to sleep. It's what, like 4 or 5 a.m. there? Oh, what a beautiful country. I've never been, but I've seen some documentaries and oh, so pretty there. Um, you never had trouble with Facebook, Angel. Wow, okay. Sixth finger. Huh. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. You left me with a mystery there, Aphrodite, about the sixth finger. Are you talking about mine? uh, Sweet dreams, indeed. Uh, okay. Anyway, I'm starting to space out here. Oh, six fingers on Osiris. Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Wow. What a great crowd tonight. This is epic. This is super, super epic, guys. Thanks for being here. This is like one of the best crowds I've ever seen on my stream. Awesome. Catch you later.